Welcome to the Emerging Lawyer series at the Coffee Conversation Show, powered by the Emerging India Forum TEIF and a tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. Theme is Inside the Brand Battlefield. Aakaanksh Sharma on protecting what matters. In a world where imitation thrives, Aakaanksh Sharma is one of the few who fights for authenticity. As a brand protection specialist at Span Consulting, he is on the front line of a high stakes war against counterfeiting, leading enforcement actions, negotiating settlements, and turning legal knowledge into real world impact. But Akansh's journey isn't just about law, it's about mindset, a fusion of energy, entrepreneurship, and empathy that has guided his rise from a curious law student to a professional dismantling counterfeit networks. In this episode, we dive into his bold choices, the adrenaline of raids, the lessons from failure, and his belief that success begins when you step beyond the ordinary. And we also come to know Akansh as a person. So, welcome, Ashan, today's Coffee Corner episode.
I'm very glad that I am part of this podcast and excited to have a conversation with you.
Yeah. So it is a memorable moment. Your mom got featured. Now you are getting featured. So uh, as she became the part of the coffee tribe, you also part of the coffee tribe. So uh, welcome and let's because this is also a very interesting topic, like we did with Arindam and learning from you the insights. A young person, what got you into this niche field? So let me explain you. There'll be three rounds: professional journey, personal journey, and a surprise, the rapid fire round, like you had with Coffee with Karan, and you're getting two books: Legal
Oh,
AI and Shaping the Gen Z Lawyer.
amazing.
So let's begin the first round. Friend of mine, Amir Virani, host at Coffee Corner, legal tech evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution, author of 15 books. So my first question, Akansh. You have called brand protection a space where law meets action. What drew you into this unconventional side of legal practice, and how has the journey been, and what were the key defining moments you had?
Brand protection and I were very connected in the sense that when I was in my fifth year, I got this opportunity, and I was at first very hesitant to take up this opportunity. I was confused whether or not I should go for an internship, which no one has actually heard about in the entire college. I was like, okay, seems something different, something unique. I definitely must go for this. And since that day, it's been almost 2 years. And each and every day, I've been truly dedicated to brand protection. And what actually makes me thrive for more in brand protection is the impact that I am creating along with my team. Most areas of law stay on paper. However, brand protection is translated into the field. It's a mix of law, investigation, strategy, public safety, and even crisis management. And I was really fascinated that as a lawyer, I could prevent physically harm to either individuals or households. For example, if I can actually reduce the number of counterfeit medicines in the Indian market, I am going to
Mm.
actually save a lot of lives. If I
Yes.
can make sure that no counterfeit product is entering any household, for example, an FMCG product, an ingestible product, or like a topical product you put on your skin. So I am actually preventing all type of physical harm. And this made me like feel this is something I should do for like an extended time. And this is why I'm still putting my 100% in brand protection.
Wow. So let's build a conversation. Your work combines legal strategy, field investigation, and negotiation, as you shared earlier. Which of these aspects challenge you the most and why?
Yes, I would say doing a raid is not difficult. Of course, I've been conducting raids at frequencies. I would say negotiating with any stakeholder is pretty difficult, be it a DCP, like a top district police official, be it an sub inspector or an inspector, SHO, or even when we have to negotiate with these infringers or criminals. Because at times I need to strike a perfect balance because I can't be too aggressive or I can't be too submissive as well. Because I am actually dealing in cases which are highly sensitive and lives are also mattering. So I have to negotiate with the police and at times with the infringers also. And every damn person is so different. They work on different psychologies, different end goals. And
Yeah.
my goal is to actually, in the end, reduce counterfeit. So my goal is crystal clear. However, these people always have different things they are expecting. And I have to see that what kind of negotiation we can all play out. So I would say balancing firmness and fairness is the toughest part in my job for me.
Wow. So, as someone who's led multiple enforcement actions early in your career, how do you manage pressure and risk on the ground?
I would say preparation, prepping up is very important.
Yeah.
Like we get intelligence about a certain area, we just don't directly go for a raid.
Yeah.
We prep up, we build, we nurture the entire lead. There have been leads that are still being nurtured from this January. That means around it's the 11th month has ended and we still have not conducted enforcement just because we are prepping it up. So preparation takes a lot of time. And also, if I prepare better, uh, I will not bleed in war. So that is prepping up is very important. And during the raid, presence of mind is very important. As I'm
Yeah.
actually leading the enforcement action, so my team is also with me. So I need to be very careful of each and every step I take. And this field is very dynamic.
Hmm.
Anything can happen anytime. So we have to be very cautious. So preparation and presence of mind can only save me, and rest is on luck.
Yes. So, Akansh, you often speak about empathy as one of your core values. How does empathy play a role in your work, especially in negotiations enforcement?
Empathy, I would say, since childhood, I'm a very empathetic person. And I would want this quality slash trait to be with me for a very long time,
Yes.
as only a few people have empathy in them. And a lot of studies and a lot of researchers have also revealed that EQ is having a higher EQ is way better than having a higher IQ. So I
Hmm.
do practice empathy a lot, and especially when I have to distinguish between a criminal and a victim. And I would explain this by at
Yep.
times when we conduct raids and enforcements at certain targets, and sometimes we genuinely get to know that the accused was being exploited, was being misled, and he did not want to participate in the crime of counterfeiting. However, due to circumstances, he was subjected and he was caught in this crime. There are no defenses of counterfeiting. However, I need to make that conscious call. I need to see whether he a criminal mind or a vulnerable mind. So that is where empathy helps, and obviously with the team as well. I need to see that what my team is feeling about this target, whether they are comfortable in pursuing it more. And I can't pressurize my team. I never do that. And I
Hmm.
also do not want to work in pressure. Otherwise, it gets very dimsy-damsy.
Beautiful. So, Akash, counterfeiting is often seen as a shadow industry. What's the most surprising thing you have learned about how these networks operate?
It is a very uh, shadow industry in the sense that people are hidden, and I'll be very honest now, it's not even in the shadows. They're not hiding it. They're doing it in the open. And obviously there are reasons to that because the enforcement authorities are not strict. The brand or the right holders are not wanting to eliminate all types of counterfeits available. So the shocking most fact I've seen is how organized the counterfeit crime is. Like, it is not an unorganized crime, it's very organized. And I will tell you a fact that I've realized: counterfeiters do not create their own supply chain, they infiltrate in the supply chain created by the company. So, for example, there is a
Mhm.
counterfeiter shoe manufacturer. He would not go create his own supply chain, own customer base. He would actually try to infiltrate in the existing supply chain because that is way easier. Counterfeiters are also working on a very tight budget, I must say. And
Hmm.
also, at a lot of times, you cannot even fathom where these counterfeiting are
Hmm.
happening. Once we raided in a very Porsche area at a basement of a very rich person. So he has a 4-story house in like a posh area, and in the basement, manufacturing, stocking, distribution,
Hmm.
everything is happening. So you can't even maybe around your 500 meters to 1 kilometer area, there is some existence of counterfeiting operations. It's that organized.
Wow. So, Akash, you mentioned making mistakes is better than stagnation. Can you share one mistake that taught you something invaluable professionally?
Recently only, I was handling a investigation case, and this was outstate investigation. So I've always seen when the investigation is outside my state. I live in Delhi. So if, for example, if it's in Jharkhand or Kolkata, I am kind of handicapped, to be very honest. Of course,
Yes.
I do believe and trust my investigators. Once I was blindsided. My investigator, when I gave him the right instructions, he did not follow all of them. And due to that, the raid was also compromised, and we were also in a compromising situation. As I thought I should give full leadership to my investigator. However, I was blindsided. So that made me realize that how, especially these investigations, when they are going on in states outside Delhi, I need to be 10x more cautious and see what to do.
So, Akash, you have experienced both the startup world and the corporate law. How have these two environments shaped your professional personality?
Uh, my trajectory has been a little different. During my college, I tried to build my own startup, while people actually graduate from IIMs and then start their own, like they start their corporate journey and then they gain a lot of exposure, a lot of funds and access to funds as well from investors, and then they start up. Mine was the opposite. And there, in my own startup, I realized how much speed is important and ownership, being accountable, and no matter what, moving forward. In corporate, I could translate it. However, I also face some difficulties because in corporate, you can't always expect speed. As I was telling you, we are still nurturing a lead from January,
Yeah.
and it's been 11 months. We have not done anything. If I was in my own startup, I would like lose my mind. However, in the corporate, I realized how much precision and structure is important. You can't just keep running everywhere. You just need to sometimes be grounded and strategize.
Wow, beautiful. Okay, so let's go memory down the lane. Walk us through your first raid. What was going through your mind when you saw your strategy come alive in real time? This is first part, and what's been your memorable case
So
in part?
I've experienced raids as an intern, as a trainee, and as an
Mhm.
associate. So I would want to bring in the associate one, as when I was an intern, I was not leading it per se. As an associate, it was a pretty interesting case. So I had only gathered the intelligence. I only nurtured the leads. I only filed the police complaint. I only met with the police officials. And I only partnered up with a law firm. And we were a bunch of 13, 14 team members. And there were four targets, four locations in one market. And they were all like 100 meters away from each other. It was my first time leading this operation. So I still remember that on the day of the raid, I was running from one, like physically running from one shop to another just to see that each and every target is being raided and how is the police interacting? How is the police conducting the search and the seizure? Are we getting successful? And I was running through the entire market, I remember, and it was such a crowded market in Delhi. The feeling was incredible. And I was just so much in the zone of flow, feeling so present. And the raid was successful. And even the DCP of that state was very happy that we conducted enforcement at this stage. And as a fresher, it meant that I have a lot of potential. So I felt very
Yes.
happy. And
Mm.
at that rate, I felt it was there were no mistakes. And I did not even plan that much, but it was executed flawlessly.
Beautiful. Okay. So, Akash, having worked with law enforcement and big brands across pharma, FMCG sectors, what's your view on India's evolving IPR enforcement ecosystem?
I'll give my 2 cents on the evolving ecosystem. I feel while the ecosystem is evolving, however, I still, because I'm on ground, right? I have seen so much lack of awareness, coordination between these authorities, for example, police and drug. To be very honest, I sometimes feel they have their own egos, their own belief systems, and everyone's working in a different fashion. Even in Delhi, if there are like 15 police districts, everyone has their own working. While the act or the law is saying one thing, everyone is interpreting, executing it in a way different manner. And I feel that is why somewhere or the other we are lacking from other countries.
Yes.
And I just hope that in the few years that would evolve as well because these people do need to be trained. And
Yes.
I hope that I am able to actually train a few of these individuals. They're not slacking from work. However, they are interpreting it in such a different manner that
Hmm.
you can't predict what's going to happen. So you also are confused, the brands are confused, and in the end, the patient is suffering. Our goal should be to keep the patient safe, to the consumer should be safe. However, because of these ego clashes, these different interpretations, sometimes it does fizzle out for arbitrary reasons.
Beautiful put. Okay. So, Akash, who has influenced you from the world of IPR enforcement, brand protection from India and from international?
Uh, I would say IP, my mom has been a pivotal role. She has never done enforcement per se. However, because we used to have conversations growing up, she used to be talking to her colleagues or even at my place about IP. So I was kind of fascinated by that. And per se, I would say I'm inspired by my entire team right now that I have at Span Consulting, be it from my boss, Pankaj Monga, or any other colleague, senior, junior I have. I take inspiration even from my investigators. So I do not go very far out to take inspiration. I just look very close by. As I was saying, like you can spot counterfeiting very close by. You can also spot the inspirations and get inspired very close to you.
Wow, beautiful. So my last question for Professor Journey round: what advice would you give to young lawyers who want to enter brand protection IPR enforcement?
I often tell anyone who's talking to me who's interested in brand protection, just be very dynamic and focus on your soft skills more than your hard skills. This
Yes.
job does not require you to be a professional in law, like be a pro in law. You just need to have a lot of confidence. You just need to have clarity and you need to have conviction that no matter what, you will achieve this. Soft skills are more important than hard skills in this field, at least.
Yeah, correct. So let's go to the next round and understand Akansh as a person. Uh, Tell us about your family and your formative years. And I'm a little curious, what made you uh, add double A in your uh, uh, double A before and again double A after? So do you believe in
Uh,
numerology?
I never named myself. My parents did, and my grandmother did. So
Oh,
my name's, as you rightly mentioned, has four A's. And
yes.
till date, whenever I tell anyone, people get confused how to pronounce this.
Oh,
And I have always been role number one in that say. And also, I don't believe in numerology or anything, but now I've been named as a Aakaanksh. So I just keep with the name and I'm pretty happy with it. And about
right.
my family and formative years, I would say all the hard skills I was like taught by my mom, I would say, because she used to like make sure that I am academically well off. Because I used to never want to focus on academics per se, but my mom used to give me in Indian words a danda, and I used to like make sure that I focus. All the soft skills that I've learned till date is primarily because of my dad. He is very confident and he can talk to anyone, be it like on the road, on a CEO table, or to any government official. So all the soft skills I've learned from him and the hard skills I've learned from my mom. So that has been a good intersection of skills.
Wow, beautiful. So let's go to your college days, OP Jindal Global University. What are your experience and memories from there?
I would say Jindal did expose me to a lot of things. It changed my life also in some way or the other. It was in Jindal where I discovered that a mix of confidence, ambition, and beautiful friendships, that how they can shape you up. And also in Jindal because there is such a diverse crowd. I could see that how much diversity is there because when I was in school, people were the same. In college, people were across states. This made me feel like how much there is to learn and how much diversity there is. And I think after Jindal only I could decide and choose to follow an unconventional career path.
Wow. So what's your go-to stress buster after a long day of field work and negotiations?
I would say I mostly try to chill on my job. Uh, so that is there. Otherwise, if it's very stressful, I just either I look forward to go to the gym, to be very honest. And
Hmm.
sometimes when I'm traveling, I just think that okay, when my work is completed, I would just go to that one location at that location, at that or in that state. For example, if I'm in Bombay, I can't miss Marine Drive. Or if I'm in
Mm,
Kolkata, I would want to go to Park Street. So I always
mm,
have something to look forward to.
that's beautiful. Stress buster activities and discovering the city and spending time in nature. Wow.
Yes.
Okay. So you have mentioned weightlifting and running. How do fitness and discipline spill into your everyday mindset?
I would say commitment and discipline, as I try to follow. I don't have a diet per se, but I eat the same meals almost every day. I'm not saying I don't eat junk food. If you see my Zomato history, however, I try to stick to the basics. And I was like very fat. I was 110 kilos during my 11th, 12th, sorry, 10th and 11th. And I got so attached to the gym in a way, it has
Mhm.
shaped me up. And I don't think I would ever want to leave any form of exercise. I realized movement is medicine.
Wow. So if your friends had to describe you in three words, what would they say?
Oh, and this is a very good question. Uh, they would say calm face and dangerously naughty brain.
Beautiful. So which is that book, movie, or song which has left a lasting impact on you?
Um, a book I bought this from the airport. I don't remember the name, but it is basically about how each and every company has a different culture and how the culture starts from the top, from the CEO to the bottommost level employee. I don't remember the book's name.
Okay.
Uh, there's some business lessons. So that was a very good book I've read.
Beautiful. So my last one is a googly one. Describe Akansh in one line.
Uh, I would say a deeply empathetic warrior protecting what matters.
Beautiful. So let's put you in the hot seat. The
Mhm.
rapid fire round. Your go-to comfort food.
Curd,
Wow. Morning gym or late night reflections.
late night reflection.
Your favorite color.
Uh, Wine,
Your dream travel place.
Switzerland.
Wow. Best piece of advice received.
It's a mindset thing.
Wow. A quote that you live by.
Uh, do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it.
Beautiful. Last one. Tea or coffee to recharge.
Coffee,
You're the coffee share. That's
coffee.
really wow. So you did well, and here's the two books which will be autographed and sent to you.
I'm so happy. I'll definitely give that a read during my travel,
Wow.
maybe.
From the chaos of enforcement sites, Akash represents a new generation of lawyers who refuse to be boxed in by convention. His story isn't about playing safe. It's about showing up, taking risks, and creating tangible change in a world that often settles for theoretical wins. As we wrap this conversation, one thing is clear. Akans isn't just protecting brands, he's protecting the spirit of authenticity itself. His journey reminds us that the future of law lies in passion driven practice where intellect meets action and every raid tells a story worth listening to. So, like that, there are 800 plus coffee speakers who have shared their inspiring professional, personal journeys. Subscribe to the Coffee Con Show, implement those changes, and we meet with another speaker or cup of coffee. So, take care. Thank you.
Thank you.